and Gervonta Davis. Gervonta handled his business. He was very impressive. We're gonna talk to a lot about that fight tonight. I'm gonna talk to you about my guest first. My first guest is gonna be Kieran Mulvaney from Showtime Boxing Network, Boxing Podcast. Great guy, is always there for me. He's always at the big fights, and he's gonna come on and give me his takes on what went on out in Vegas this past weekend. And he has always had some great insight. So looking forward to that. My second guest, uh, good friend of mine from here in Baltimore, Coach Kenny Ellis. A lot of you now around the country know Kenny Ellis. He's the co-trainer for Gervonta Davis, and one of the smartest guys you'll meet in the boxing game. So I'm looking forward to chopping it up with him and see how what his thoughts were on the fight and his game planning and what they did leading up to the fight. But yeah, should be a good show. Karen Mulvaney should be here in a few minutes. Please drop your comments. Tell me what you thought about the fight. Tell me who you think Gervonta should fight next. What you think Ryan Garcia should do. Give me your thoughts on the upcoming Devin Haney and uh, Vasily Lomachenko fight May 20th out in Vegas. I think that's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that. Two elite fighters. Right now, the money line has uh, Devin Haney as the favorite, and I know a lot of people, who bet on the underdog side, so can make some more money betting with Lomachenko, but that's up to you. But yeah, right now the favorite in that fight is Devin Haney. I'm not sure what the exact line is in that fight, but um yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Of course, now with Gervonta winning, he has plenty of options going forward. A lot of people have speculated which Chris Stevenson, the winner of the Devin Haney Lomachenko fight. People are just, in my opinion, I think people are being a little bit too presumptuous with this Haney and Lomachenko fight. I don't think that's a given for Haney to win this fight. I think Lomachenko, even though he's a little older now, he's just a highly skilled guy, and this is like not a tomato can kind of fighter. So I'm looking forward to A, seeing how that turns out, and then B, what Gervonta will do as far as whether he'll fight the winner or go somewhere else. So we'll definitely check in, and I'll ask Kenny those questions too on his thoughts um, on that fight that's coming up. But yeah, man, it was a good fight Saturday night. Came to abrupt end in the seventh round. If you guys didn't catch it, Gervonta hit him with a liver shot, and we're gonna talk more about the liver shot tonight. And I don't want people to get caught up in a lot of hoopla you see on social media where you're saying, Ryan Garcia quit, and because I think that takes away from the knockout for Gervonta. I think people don't understand. If you've been in that ring, I don't think you will understand how much a liver shot can really make you feel. Number one, it takes your breath away. Number two, it makes you feel like your legs are gone. You can't get up. You feel like you're paralyzed. And I just think people took that shot for granted. The people who, the conspiracy theorists out there who think that it's you know, he just went down, didn't want to get back up, he quit and all that kind of stuff. I did not think that he did that. So we're gonna talk more about it and get your thoughts on it. But yeah, just waiting for Karen to pop in. It should be in here any minute. And I'm going to try to uh maybe have a third guest tonight. I'm gonna see how it goes. I don't want to bust the bubble with that because it may not happen, so I won't speak on it too much. But so yeah, so in the meantime, appreciate you guys joining in, and gonna give my man another couple minutes to pop in here. And so But yeah, hey, T Adams, welcome to the show. Appreciate you tuning in. Um, Thanks for supporting the podcast. Um, got a few other people joining us right now, so looking forward to it. Um, but yeah, it was a great atmosphere, and I want to talk to Kenny when he gets on. When gets on, the atmosphere, and I don't know if a lot of you have been to a Hey, Karen,
Hey man, how are you?
how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Likewise, likewise.
Good
No,
to see you. I'd say, man, you always come through, and you come through in the clutch all the time after a Gervonta fight, and a lot of people really appreciate it. How you been doing, man?
good, good. Just recovering from Vegas, which was
Right,
a great week, and
right.
yeah, getting ready to get on with life.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Now I'm gonna get right to it, Karen. Going
Mm,
into the fight, I thought Garcia, with his reach advantage, would maybe cause a problem against Davis. But my main question would be, how would Garcia handle the power of Tank? What were your thoughts going into that fight?
Yeah, I think my thoughts were not terribly original. That I thought, look, I thought that the Tank would win the fight, and I thought
Yeah,
he'd win by knockout. I predicted KO 9. I
right.
just thought he's a much, much better fighter. But I did
Yeah,
think that Garcia would give him a hard time for those first few rounds because Tank always normally is a bit of a slow starter, right?
right, right,
And I thought that Ryan would bank those few rounds, and if there was a possibility that Tank didn't knock him out, then maybe he might regret giving away those first few rounds. But I think I don't know, and maybe if Ryan had just boxed the way he did in the first round for a few more rounds, he might have at least banked those. But he just got too excited, and he just Tank probably couldn't believe his luck that he was opening up like that, and he just left himself open for that left hand, and then that changed everything, really, didn't it?
yeah, and it's crazy because oftentimes when you haven't fought elite competition like Davis,
Yeah,
you either rise to the occasion
yeah,
or
yeah,
you get caught in between.
yeah,
You don't rise to that moment.
yeah,
I thought after the knockdown in the second round, I thought Garcia was a little in between whether he should continue to attack or lay back and throw the jab. But I
yeah.
think his game plan was thrown off at that point. What do you think?
100%.
Yeah,
Completely agree. I thought he looked lost for rounds 3, 4, and 5. And
yeah,
then 6, he looked like he got his mojo back a little bit, right? Didn't he? And then he got carried away again and he just left himself open again, I thought. And no, I agree with you 100%. I think the quality of not just the fighters, but the quality of the opposition they face really, really told. And like there was the question of how will Tang fare against a taller fighter. Well, he's had that experience. That's where he banks the Mario Barrios experience, right? And how does he cope against fast guys? That's where he banks the Leo Santa Cruz experience and all this kind of stuff. And boy, I tell you, I mean, you and I both, we've been around enough fighters that
yeah.
we hear him express confidence before
Mhm.
fights and so on.
Right,
But then
right.
every so often, you get a fighter and a trainer, and you're like, they're not just confident. They don't think they're going to win this fight. They know they're going to win
That's
this
right.
fight.
Hmm.
That's what Tank and Calvin were like.
Yeah.
They knew, man. They had it, but they knew that if they took away Ryan's left hook, they had it. And the moment he slipped that left hook and landed at his own left hand, that was it. Game over, really, wasn't it?
Yep. I think that posed a lot of questions in Garcia's mind at that point. Um, I think we talked about it before how I don't think Davis gets credit for his cerebral nature and the way he goes about dissecting his opponent.
Yeah.
When you're ringside, do you see that, or can you feel the gears clicking in his mind? Like, yeah, you know what? I see him working on something right now.
You know what? I thought this was a little different because I thought he had it sorted much earlier on. Like he was smiling at Ryan Garcia very, very early on, looking very confident. I I hate to dump on a guy who's lost a fight because we always want them to
Mhm.
dare to be great and to bet on themselves. But this wasn't Tank's hardest night of work ever,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
Isak Cruz gave him a harder time. Rolly gave him
Mhm.
a harder time. Santa Cruz gave him a harder
Yeah, he
time.
sure did. That's right.
Um, I think they looked at Ryan and they thought, we don't even have a lot of work to do in the ring here.
Right.
It's just a case of getting the timing down, wait for the opening, and then then it's in there. And and I'm not trying to say that Ryan Garcia is a bad fighter or
Mhm.
anything, but I think Tank and Calvin had him figured out pretty early on. So I think there's a bit different this time
Yeah.
because yeah, you do sometimes see him work through the gears, but it sure looked like he knew what he was doing
He
very
sure
early
did.
on, didn't it?
Sure did. And I got to give him credit. And I love when I see fighters who have the ability to think on a run like that and kind of, can adjust to anything.
Yeah,
Now, as far as Ryan Garcia is concerned, I tell people all the time, don't get caught up with a loss too much because as Sugar Ray stated the other night, you have fighters at this point, they can secure their legacy and how they perform on the bounce back.
yeah.
Where do you think Ryan goes from here?
I don't know. I think he can. He's still very young.
Yeah.
He's got a very good trainer now who he should listen to. I think a little bit more. I think he got carried away. I think he probably got a little bit too caught up in the moment on Saturday. And I think had he listened to Joe a little bit more, he probably might have been a little bit less aggressive early on. And I think if he sticks with Joe and he listens to Joe, um, he can build himself back up, and fight at 140 or yeah, I mean he's probably even got the frame for 47.
Mhm,
And yeah, just continue to learn. He's very, very young. He's
mhm.
a very personable guy. He clearly has natural talent.
Yeah.
And so it's a case of allying that natural talent
Mhm,
to, the hard work. And maybe look, the knock on Ryan for a long time
mhm.
has been that he reads his press clippings a little bit too much, right? And maybe this is going to be the making of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's been in there with the very best, and
Yeah.
he humbled him a bit, and
That's
he
right.
knows now that he's got work to do,
Yeah.
and he can either continue to be the pretty guy with a great social media following, or he can really try to be the best fighter that he can be. And I
Yeah.
think he's got the talent to be a very good fighter, and he may never be as good as Gervonta Davis,
Mhm.
but not many people ever will be.
Not many people. That's right. That's right. And going into the fight, I was talking with some friends and I kind of compared this matchup and it kind of went that way, except it went a little shorter. Alexis Arguello and Aaron Pryor, where
Yeah,
Aaron Pryor was just this fierce competitor,
yeah,
and Alexis Arguello was this tall,
yeah,
kind of guy who had the reach advantage, and Aaron Pryor was just so relentless in his
yeah.
in his stalking ability to get to a fighter. Um, as far as Gervonta, he has options now.
Hmm.
Um, do you think he's leaning towards the winner of Haney? Now I'll tell you this, and I said it before you got on here. I think people are underestimating Lomachenko at this point.
Hmm. Hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I mean, I've long been incredibly high on Lomachenko, but
Yeah.
I figured he's like an alien, candidly. But
Mhm.
yes, because he's perhaps slowed a wee bit, and he's relatively small at 35, and
Mhm.
was always, I think, better at 30. I think quite possibly. I think Haney's a bit of a nightmare matchup for everybody
Yeah.
because he's not he'll never be the most exciting fighter in the division, but
Mhm.
he's got that reach, he's got that boxing IQ. I think he'll be a tough matchup.
Mhm.
I guess when it comes to Tang, I mean, I don't know how long he's going to go away for,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and I don't know if anybody has a good idea of how long he's going to go away for. And I guess if he goes away for 3 months, it probably doesn't make much difference.
Yeah.
If he goes away for 9 or 12 months, and I don't know, I have no idea what's realistic and what's going to happen. Then that makes a big difference, of course. And then he'll come out rustier, and Shakur will probably be in his spot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I could sort of give you a little hint that the numbers are going to be very good for this fight.
Yes. Yes.
Um, Better than people are thinking at the moment.
I totally agree, man. I
Yeah,
totally agree.
they're good,
Yeah.
and I think mean that basically Gervonta is going to have to pick of who he wants.
Yeah, which will until be another, mega fight for him. Now, I had this question I want to pose to you.
Mm.
Because I had a few people ask me the week of a major fight,
Mm-hmm.
and you get in there in a few days. I want you to explain your process once you get there and your business and how you go about your business and the atmosphere in Vegas for a mega fight when you go to do your job.
Well, it kind of depends. So now that I go there basically to podcast.
Mhm,
So it's a lot simpler and more focused
mhm,
than say when I was working for ESPN and just trying to get articles or
mhm,
whatever. So there's a media room.
mhm,
There's always like a big media room, which is one of the ballrooms, like at the
mhm,
MGM that they convert. And that's where they'll have all the PR people will be set up there,
mhm,
and they'll have the tables for all the radio folks and podcasters. And
mhm.
so basically the first job, you go in, you get your fight week credential. There are two different credentials. You get one for the fight week and then one for fight night.
Right.
And pick up your credential. Just at this stage, obviously I know everybody. So walk
Mhm,
in, and people in charge of the media room sort of, okay, this is the table where we set you up. What do
right.
you want for this week? Well, we're just going to be podcasting. We want whoever you can get. Well, so and so, so and so, so and so, and so and so are going to be
Mhm,
here. Do you
mhm,
want us to bring them round? That would
mhm,
be fantastic. And so, for example, so what we do when we're podcasting is we'll just sit there. Basically, we've got our microphone
mhm.
set up that Showtime provide for us, and honestly, it's a cushy gig, mate. We just sit there and they go, "Hey, Andre Ward's here. You want to talk to Andre? Sure,
Right,
we'll
right.
talk to Andre.
Right, right,
Bernard's here. You want to talk to Bernard? Sure.
right, right,
Just bring him over. Leonard's here. Hey, Leonard, what's
right,
going on?
right, right.
So there's a lot of that. It's a lot
Mhm,
harder when I used to be a writer for like
mhm,
Reuters or ESPN, and then you're just hustling. Then you're trying to like chase after whoever's around and trying to
right.
figure out what the stories are and all that kind of stuff. But so I go in, say about 9 a.m.
Yeah.
It's normally pretty quiet in the morning, gathers pace. And by the end of the day, we're cranking together a bunch of interviews. And then in the evening, I am the most boring person in the world when I'm in Las Vegas. I am so tired after talking to everybody that the
Right,
last thing
right,
I want to do is talk to anybody
right,
else. And
right,
I go back and I like just get my iPad and watch Bob's Burgers or something all
right,
evening.
right. Oh,
I'm so dull. My
oh
Vegas
my
night.
goodness.
It's
So
it's
wait a minute, Karen.
amazing.
So Karen, you don't hit the strip or anything, or
I
you,
don't. I mean,
no?
I've been there so many times, right? I mean,
Right,
I
right,
lived there
right.
for a little while. I've probably done what, 50, 60 fights in
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah,
So no, I don't. I mean, sometimes if the
right,
weather's nice or
right,
whatever, then I'll go for like a little stroll. But
right.
generally, no. It's really hard. Once I'm in my room, it's really hard
Yeah.
to get me out.
I'll tell you what. You have a good point because I remember when I had a credential. Was it? I think it was Mayweather Berto or something like
Hmm.
that, or whatever. And you go through this thing, and I don't know if people have been to a mega fight in Vegas. Well, the strip is really live, for that
Yeah.
weekend. It's really live. And you go through the weigh-in, and then you get to the fight, and you go to meet other people. I kid you not, when I leave out of there, I go straight to my room, and people don't realize we're still 3 hours behind in Vegas.
Yes.
So I'm like sleep at this 1 o'clock in the
Exactly.
morning.
Exactly.
So people are
Exactly.
like, man, you coming out the party. Now it also backfired at Madison Square Garden. Because you were there when it was the Daniel Jacobs Triple G.
Hmm.
I think you were there.
Yep, I was.
So one of the guys from IFL TV, you know
Hmm.
who they are? Yeah.
Yep.
So he says, Rob, after the fight, this was when Michael Conlon was fighting the Friday night before.
Yep.
Yeah. So he says, man, Conor McGregor's here. He invited me to a party. He said, you want to go? I said, man, I don't know. I'm already tired, right? He said, man, come on, go to the fight. So I'm like, come on, go to the party. So safe to say, when he got to the Daniel Jacobs Triple G fight the next day, he was dead tired. He
Right.
said, man, I'm exhausted. I was up all night. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, it was so cold, but Conor McGregor had on a fur coat with nothing under it. It's like I said, man, I'd have never made the Triple G fight if I'd have went to that party. But that's a true, that's a true story, man. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So what you got coming up next on your podcast?
So we're going to try and get Coach Calvin
Yeah,
for a follow-up piece
mhm,
for our next pod.
yeah,
And then we're hoping, I think our next trip, we're hoping to get back to the Hall of Fame
yeah. Oh, great,
in early
great.
June, because we did a great job there last year. Got a lot of interviews. We found out. So Andre Ward, there's a Showtime has a documentary about Andre
Oh,
coming out
yeah, yeah.
on June 2nd, and we're sitting down to talk to him, and Andre's like, "You're in the doc." And we're like, we are? So I guess we interviewed him at the Hall of Fame
Right,
last
right,
year when
right.
he was inducted. And apparently our interview or part of it got into the documentary somehow. So,
Wow.
um, so obviously, they obviously liked what we did there last time. So I really hope we get to go again this time, because that's just such a trip.
I don't know
You
if
should do a show from there, man. Like
man, I would
induction week.
love to. You know, I've never been there. I think I told you before. I've never been there.
It's such a trip, man. It's great.
Um,
Everybody's in such a good mood. It's
yeah,
not too far from
yeah.
Baltimore.
No,
You know?
not at all. But I told people, I don't know if you still have the videos on YouTube
Yeah.
from man. I watched them probably like 10 of them. You guys did a fabulous job, man. You really did, man. If you guys haven't, check him out on Showtime Boxing Podcast. He's great. Karen's one of my guys. He's a fantastic guy. I always say you make the show look even more intelligent when you pop on it.
Just my accent, man.
I know, right?
As I tell people, I'm actually from Arkansas. I just fake the
No,
accent
no,
just to
no,
sound smarter.
no. The guy knows boxing. He knows Antarctica. He knows everything. I mean, great guy, man. I appreciate you coming. By the way, I didn't tell you, but Kenny Ellis is coming on at
Mm.
8 o'clock, so he'll be on tonight. So I tagged you in case you want to check it out when you get
Oh,
off.
sure.
He'll be on at 8. So
Okay.
I'm gonna ask him a few inside questions like what they do leading up to the fight as far as the scouting,
Yeah, yeah.
different things like that.
Nice.
So man, if you can, please check it
All
out,
right,
man.
buddy.
Yep,
All right.
yep.
And before I go, how are our Orioles going to do this year, man?
I tell you what, I don't want to jinx it. They're doing really well right now. They're
Yeah.
15-7. Um
Good farm team right now, right? Like they've been
oh,
drafting well, yeah?
absolutely. Their farm system was rated number 1 last year. Um I'm really excited about this year.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm gonna buy my World Series tickets early, but you know what? I think I can put them on layaway. So, man, I appreciate you, brother. I really do.
It's likewise, man. It's always great to be here.
My man. Take it
All
easy,
right, buddy.
Karen.
You
All
bet,
right.
brother.
All
See you
right.
soon. Bye-bye.
My man. My man, Kieran Mulvaney from Showtime Boxing Podcast. Um, Great guy. He always comes through for me. And so he's always great guy. And I don't know if I told you guys how I met Karen Mulvaney. So I got my first credential for an event some years ago at the Forum in LA. So I'm just walking around and enjoying the view, the sights, and everything else. I was really excited. I was a little nervous too because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get my interviews and the timing of everything and where I'm going to sit, if it's going to go smooth. They had my table. I was at like the third row on the floor. So I had a great view, and I was surprised, being that I was small media, that they still gave me a great seat. But beforehand, I'm walking around the Forum in LA, and I'm getting the feel of the place, and just seeing how everything is. It's where I grew up, um, loving the Lakers. So I happened to see him, and I recognized him, and he was like, I said, "Hey, Karen." I spoke to him like I knew him for 30 years by just meeting him, but such a great guy. He gave me his information, and he told me anytime I wanted to have him on the podcast, and he's been on, I guess, maybe 10 times now. He's a really great guy. So but yeah, in about 20 minutes, I got Kenny Ellis coming on, and we're gonna talk to him about a couple of inside things that went on before, during, and after the fight. I'm going to ask him about the weigh-in situation. I'm going to ask him about Bernard Hopkins. Um, I'm going to ask him what did he think about um, the game plan that they had for Ryan Garcia. I'm going to ask him about Oscar. I'm going to ask him about what he thinks that the next plan will be as far as Gervonta and his team. And what's up, man?
Hey, what's happening?
Ah, my man.
What's
I
going
tell
on?
you, I tell you what, you one of the kings in the city now, man.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You tired? How you feeling?
I feel good, man. Just taking
Good,
it
man.
about that.
Now I was telling everybody, you are absolutely one of the smartest guys in the boxing game. People don't give you credit,
Oh man, I
and
appreciate it, man.
you know for a fact that Calvin always calls you the Bible
Yep,
because
he got everybody calling me the Bible. That's
yeah, and
crazy, man.
I don't think people because we got a few people watching now, Kenny. I appreciate you coming on, but I don't
Okay,
think people realize how much film study, how much of a historian, how much boxing knowledge that Kenny has. So I'm gonna give you your flowers, man, while you're on the show, just to let people know you know your shit.
I appreciate it,
I
man.
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So
Man,
what was your
I
huh?
can't, I can't answer questions like if somebody just randomly asks me something. It's not like I study books every day. It's just that
Okay.
when it comes to the fighting aspect of it, I know it.
That's right.
I know the fighters' weaknesses and strengths and stuff like that, and I know a lot of the history. I do know the history, but
Mhm.
I didn't learn it by being in the book. I read on my time. It's not like I open a book every day and do homework. It's just I was at the right place at the right time, and I learned certain stuff, and I remember some stuff. That's a lot of knowledge, though. You know.
Yeah, man. It truly is, man. And that's a testament to you and the hard work you put in over the years, not only for the kids in the city, but to Upton and to the fighters who have made it to the pro ranks.
Yep.
Um,
I
and I
appreciate
think,
it.
like I said, man, you deserve your flowers. And I don't think a lot of people recognize that, but you know, I always have. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
nothing new to me.
I appreciate
But
it.
yeah, man, but going into the fight, what was your game plan against Ryan? And what were some of the things you saw that you might can take advantage of?
Oh man, look, I studied him, man, over and over. And if you see some of the video footage I posted, we just trained to capitalize on the mistakes that Ryan was doing. He don't have no footwork. Keep his chin in the air. You know what I'm saying? And he's so concentrating on being fast. And speed is not. That's not all you need in the fight. And Tank, he thought he was fast until he got in front of Tank.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
look you look fast. You look fast against certain people, caliber fighters that you fight, but when you're there with a real fighter, hey, he just as fast as you. You know what I mean?
that's a good point, man. And and I said this earlier before you got on. I don't think the Tank gets the credit for being a smart fighter who's able to think on the fly and maneuver against, quality opponents. He just makes it look easy.
Exactly.
But I mean, he's an elite smart fighter. I mean, brain smart fighter. What do you say about that?
Man, Tank can do it all. Box, bang.
Yeah.
He can do it, man. Counter punch, whatever we ask him to do, he can do it. He'll do another game, man. If you want to bang, he can bang. Or,
Yeah.
or if you want to bang, he can box. If you want to box, he can bang.
Yeah.
It's like a computer chip. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. But before I talk about the fight, I want to backtrack a little bit. What was up at the weigh-in with B Hop, man?
Man, he came on the outside of the
Yeah.
stage and he touched Tank on the back, and in a mysterious way, he said that he stopped trying to warn Tank about falling off the edge, but the video didn't look like that. If that was the case, he would have grabbed him by his armpit, say, "Hey, look, don't fall off the stage." But he went down on his lower back. Not saying that he did something, but
Hmm.
just in case. The game is dirty, and I don't trust nobody in boxing, man, because the game is wicked, man. You got all walks of life in it. Not saying that Bernard is a wicked person, but They test the fighters after the fight. Now let's say nobody made no issues of Bernard touching Tank, and he come
Mm-hmm.
back dirty. He come
Mm-hmm.
back dirty. You know what I mean? So you got to put your antennas up. You know?
Yeah. What was when you saw that? Did you think like you didn't think anything suspicious at that point?
No,
You were just
no,
like, why is he over there?
right. And then they showed the video. I'm like, damn, it do look kind of crazy way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And over the years, man, people have done some crazy shit. You know, and boxers come up dirty for whatever reason. You know?
And see, you know what I thought was weird, Kenny? I thought him over there now, B Hop. We all know he's one of the smartest
Hey, man,
guys. And
smartest
then
man in the game, man.
yeah.
I respect B-Hop. Yeah, I respect him. I respect him. You know.
And see, the thing is, him and when God rest his soul, brother Nassim Richardson, who was
Good
also
man.
one of the smartest trainers,
Yeah,
you
good.
know not to be on that side. Why are you even over there?
If Richardson was here, he would have never been on that
He
side.
wouldn't have been on that side. Am I
No,
right, Kenny? Am I right about that?
you right. You right.
Yeah, man. And you know, brother Nassim, he was infamous for finding, dirty gloves and everything else. He
Good
was
guy,
smart
man.
too.
Yes, he was. Good guy.
So I don't know, man. But yeah, but once the fight got going, I thought when Tank knocked him down the second round, I think it kind of threw Garcia off a little bit, and he didn't know what to do. It seemed like he threw his game plan off. Did you guys see that from ringside?
Yeah, he got a little. His punch count went down after that. He got a little shy. I thought Tank the punch landed on the chin, but God, when I saw the tape, it caught him more like on his face and nose.
Yeah,
That shot would have landed flush on the chin.
yeah,
It would have been a KO in the second round.
yeah, yeah. Now, what was your game plan? Now, when that knockdown happened, because a lot of times, guys, and this is another thing, I give Tank credit. A lot of guys would have said, "Oh, let me rush in and get him," but Tank said, "No, I'm gonna take my time." Was that something that you say you agreed with him as far
Yeah,
as what
because
he was going? Okay,
because Ryan he got right up. He wasn't rattled too much, but
right, right.
he's a big puncher, so you got to be careful. You don't want to jump in if he's not rattled that much. If he was rattled and discombobulated and stumbling, his equilibrium was shook, yeah, go in there and gut his ass like a lake trout. But he wasn't.
Right,
He
right,
wasn't. He wasn't that hurt, so you got to be safe. Keep your hands
right,
high because he can punch.
right. Now, as the fight went on, you saw that kind of, and I was talking to Kieran Mulvaney just before you came on, and it seems like Gervonta knew that he was confident that he knew he can get him out of there. It seemed that way to me. Um, when he hit him with that liver shot, did you think Ryan was going to get up?
I thought he was going to try to a little harder to beat the count, but it was a mean shot though, and you just don't know what a boxer feels.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. And a lot of people I heard was saying, "Oh man, it was staged and all that." Those are people who never got hit with a liver shot.
Those are people who never even had a pair of gloves on, man.
Oh my goodness! And I tell you, and I was at De La Hoya
Hey,
Hockey.
look, I sparred Vincent Petway one time back in the 80s, and he hit me with. He was just turning pro around the time. He hit me with a body shot, man. It hit me so hard, man. It felt like my eyes was gonna jump out my fucking head. And it was a body shot. So people that never had gloves on, they just don't know.
Right.
They just don't know.
I mean, it takes your breathing. You feel like your legs can't move. I
Exactly,
mean,
man.
oh
Exactly.
man, it's crazy, man. And now that was a great shot, man. It was a great shot.
It
It was a great
was.
shot. What
It
do
was.
you What do you think as far as Devontae? What do you? I mean, do you have any game plan on what the next few months are going to entail as far as the issues that he's dealing with and the things he can do to get back in the ring soon?
Yeah, we walking in faith with that
Yeah.
situation,
Hmm.
and but trust and believe he gonna be okay. And after that, we start looking at the next bout.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously the gorilla in the room is the Haney Lomachenko fight coming up.
That would be
Um.
nice because that's what the fans want to see.
Yeah.
Four kings stay in the mix with each other,
Hmm.
And then once that's out of the way, you take the new guys that's coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Martins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
last 3-4 years, everybody been talking about the 4 kings. So let the 4 kings fight off,
I
and
know that's right.
you know
I
what I
know
mean.
that's right.
Why skip each other? You know,
Yep.
don't kill the time. Let's get this over with. Then we can take on the newcomers. You know,
I know that's right. What you think about that fight, man?
with Haney and
Yeah. Yeah. And
Lomachenko.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm rocking with Haney, man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that jab, man. If he use that jab, man, I just don't think Lomachenko got big enough punch to slow Haney down.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so I got that jab. We're doing miracles that night. Not miracles, but doing what's
And
supposed.
what's crazy, man, and you don't know until you get in the ring how things are gonna transpire. But I've always felt that I don't think Shakur is a good matchup for Gervonta, meaning that I don't think he can handle Gervonta. I really don't.
The
What do
boxing,
you Mhm.
both of them can box, man.
Yeah.
Both of them can box. It's just that can Shakur keep Tank off for 12 rounds?
That's the point.
I haven't seen a
Yeah.
fight in history go 12 rounds without getting hit. I don't care
Yeah.
who's in your corner, who's
Yeah.
working with you. You're going to get hit every fucking round. You're going to get
Yes.
hit. I don't care who you are. You're going to get hit. So, unless Shakur fight the perfect fight,
Yeah.
and I have yet to see a perfect boxer.
Yeah.
Hats off to Shakur, no disrespect. It's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, either way, it'd be a tough, a good fight with
Yeah,
two
hell of a
two
fight.
two young warriors.
Yeah,
And like you say, you love to see it, and you want them all to get in the mix. You want them all to get paid. You all want them all to be healthy, and everything else, so everybody can take advantage of what they're worth, and get
exactly.
what they can get.
Exactly.
Um,
Do it while you're
but
young, you know?
but yeah, but I want to touch on a couple of young men that you also had on the card. Um, Lorenzo and
Lorenzo Chuck Simpson.
yeah, how'd you think he did the other night?
He been out of the ring for a while. He was shaking some ring
Mhm.
rust. I think he did
Yeah,
actually. He fought a unanimous decision. He did
yeah,
good. Just
yeah,
get his timing back,
yeah. And of course, Lil Catino. I remember when I was coming out of the gym, he was like waist high.
Yeah,
Now, what you
okay.
take on? Yeah,
Man,
what'd you get from him?
a lot of people don't know, man. He got his own little style and he punched just as
Yeah,
hard as Tank.
yeah.
Time time
Wow.
will time will tell. People will see that, but that was his third pro fight.
Yeah,
Got his second KO. Um, I got him doing big things in the sport.
yeah. He's really good, man. And I used to see him at the gym, and he always just seems so quiet. But like you said,
Yeah,
his skill set is amazing, man, for a young kid.
yeah, he is quiet. He won't volunteer to talk, but if you talk
Yeah,
to him, he'll talk back.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what's the game plan for them in the next few months? You got them on any kind of regimen as
yeah,
far as
pretty much keeping him busy.
Yeah,
Try to get him at least 4 or 5 more times this year.
that's great, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, what you got planned, man?
I just go with the flow. I don't make plans, man. You know, I
Right,
don't.
right, right.
Thank God I don't have to punch a clock for nobody, so I just go with the flow.
Yeah,
I
man.
weigh my options though, if it makes sense.
Yeah,
Um, I put God first, and then my deed is make sure I work with the kids.
yeah,
I don't talk. I don't talk that. I don't. People don't know that side of me though, but yeah, I talk to God all the time. But
yeah.
my deed is work with them kids. They the angels of the earth, man. Keep trying to keep them happy.
Absolutely, man. You always have, you always will. Like I said, you one of the kings of the city, because not only for what you're doing for Gervonta, but more importantly, what you're doing for the kids. And I think, like I said, man, I'm giving you flowers tonight
I appreciate.
because I get a little pissed off when I'm watching it because they don't mention your name enough for me.
I get that all the
So
time, man. But you
I
know
know
what?
you see, Kenny, hold on. I'm gonna talk for you for a minute because you're a good dude, right? So
I
you
get.
ain't gonna say it. So allow people like me to say it for you. They don't give you fucking credit for me. I just don't understand.
people, man. I mean, people I don't even know.
Yeah.
I got some inboxes this week,
Yeah.
but it don't bother me at all because, like I said, God know. As long as God know, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Calvin, my man, Calvin did his hell of a
Oh
person, man.
yeah.
And
Yes,
you know,
he is.
we I can't help the way
Yeah.
what people think. We just don't know what people think. But
Right.
I get that a lot. But I appreciate everything. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm continue to do what I do. You know what I mean? And as long as God see it, you know, I'm having fun. The kids having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the team having fun. So that's all that count. You know.
That's right. And you're right. Calvin's a great dude, man. And I'll tell you this, Calvin gonna have to stop making me chop onions, man, because the other night when he showed that tattoo, and every time he talks about y'all and talks about the kids, you know, Calvin's an emotional guy.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like,
Mess with the kids.
why the hell am I tearing up and shit? I'm like, God.
Yeah,
So
Calvin.
you got to tell him to chill with that, man, because he get to me every time.
Everybody say that. Yeah, but them kids is at heart, man. You know,
Oh man. Yes,
and
indeed.
as hard as you work to do things, you got devilish people who sit on the sidelines and try to. This world is. It's only two types of people in this world, man. Godly people and devilish people. As you get older, you realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you try to do a godly deed every day. You got these devilish
Yeah.
people that don't want to see it. That don't for whatever reason, it's just
Yeah.
evil. You know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
God will always prevail. You know.
Yeah. My man Tony said you're a prime example of a humble man and a strong man, and you play your role and you do it well.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
I
Yep. And
appreciate it.
my man Kenny said, much respect to you, Coach Kenny.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Sports, he's from the sports mix. He'll probably want you on his show, man.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
24/7. You can call my phone
Yeah,
anytime.
man.
Let me know. Give me heads up.
Yeah, but like I said, man, a lot of people was coming to me today and said, "Man, you got to congratulate him for me." So that's what I'm doing, man. And
I appreciate it.
before, if y'all don't know, Coach Kenny and they're up there, and one of the things you guys I want y'all to realize is that where they go and where they try to get the kids off the street, this ain't Beverly Hills.
Oh hell no.
It ain't Beverly Hills. I mean,
Mm,
it's one of the toughest parts in the whole city of Baltimore. But these dudes come in there, and not only that, but you have the other people that work there. They try to do their best to keep the kids off the street, and they
mm.
should be respected for it. And you're gonna always be my man, no doubt. No doubt.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. But I'm gonna have you on again, man, and
Man, you
try
have
to
me on
get you on.
anytime, man. Anytime. You call me anytime.
Yeah, maybe like once a month or something
Yeah.
like that. And then I gotta come back. I tell you what, man, Sleeves,
Hey,
I saw him in that sweatsuit.
huh?
I saw Sleeves in that sweatsuit out in Vegas, man.
Oh, you like that?
That was tight. It was all right, man.
I gave that to somebody right after the fight. They asked for it.
Oh man.
I gave it to
It was so good to see y'all out there, man, in the locker room and just as they say, getting what you deserve. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah, it's pretty good, man. Yep. Yep.
It's starting to pan out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You know,
Absolutely.
as long as we can help the youth, man. Can't save
Yeah.
them all, but the ones that want to be saved, we doing our job. You know.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. Yeah, man, but I ain't gonna hold you too long. I know you tired. You just coming back from Vegas. So man, appreciate you coming on, man.
Anytime, man. Just hit
All
me up.
right, man.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, coach.
Good seeing you here.
All right, you too, brother.
All
All
right.
right. All right. My man, Coach Kenny. I appreciate him coming on, man. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. It was really cool having Kieran Mulvaney from Showtime Boxing Podcast. He's always come through for me. And as you saw, Coach Kenny Ellis from Team Gervonta Davis, Team Truck, Team Catino. They just breeding champions from Upton. So I appreciate all of them coming on. So I probably have another podcast coming up this Thursday or Friday night. I'm gonna put the link and put the link up in the bios of Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, so everybody can follow. Press the subscribe button if you can. If you're on YouTube, really appreciate you guys for supporting me. And till my next podcast, I'm chilling with Cheese. And this is the Peaceful Disturbance, and I'm out.